Hello everybody, welcome to this World Happiness Week. Greetings from India, and this is Manas. I'm going to talk to you about a very interesting questions that we generally don't ask for each other. This is about is it possible to develop happiness in dreams? Which I'll not specifically address in terms of happiness, but I would try to address it whether is it possible to discover spiritual self in dreams, because probably that's what we are all looking for in the science of happiness or in the science of spirituality. The idea is to give you a slightly unorthodox idea about this area of work, where a lot of empiricists like behavioral scientists, neuroscientists, cultural anthropologists, psychologists, they have been talking about it in the recent years. So my idea is to talk about it and give you some glimpse about the science of spirituality, which we generally talk about mostly in the waking state or through some practice like meditation, yogic exercises, and all other events which are generally done in the waking state. Possibly we do not realize that spiritual self can also be discovered in dreams. And that has got a sustained impact on our waking state as well. So the next 20 minutes I'm going to address on this issue and try to give you some idea whether this is possible or not. Before I actually go ahead, let me tell you that how I'm going to address this issue. I'll give you a very common sense, fast fact ideas about dream, followed by some biological explanations, some psychoanalytic explanations, and then I'll enter into the spiritual explanation, through which we should try to understand whether we can discover ourselves in dreams or not. Well, the issue of understanding self is a very complex one. We are not very sure whether it is a hypothetical construct, whether it's an illusion, whether it's a stream of consciousness only, whether it is a form of embodiment of our feelings, whether it is embeddedness of the environment within us. We are not very sure about it. So we will not go into the debates on this issue. As of now, we would accept spiritual self is a self where we get a peak experience, where we find ourselves intensely alive, which is non-ordinary, a non-intellectual experience that transcends our body and mind, self and the world, and so on and so forth. So with this notion at the backdrop, let us try to get some fast fact about dreams. Now we dream, every night we dream. And in fact, we don't know when we actually fall asleep, and when actually we dream. But science has progressed, sleep research has progressed to a great extent on this issue. And we dream about 3 to 6 times per night. and they last between 5 to 20 minutes. Most people say that we see dreams, but some people say that we don't see dreams. Actually, we see dreams, all of us. Some of the dreams we can remember, some of the dreams we fail to remember. Depends at what point of time you saw the dream and what kind of dream you had. Whether you had a lucid dream, whether you have got an apprehensive dream, a dream with a lot of terrorized idea. I mean, it depends on that. And also, there is a commonplace notion that probably blind people don't see dreams. Actually, they see more dreams than sighted people. Because it's not about what we see outside through vision. We dream with certain sensory activation, which remains with our brain. And through that activation, we try to develop a pattern. Because we are pattern creating creatures, human beings. So anything fuzzy, anything random, we try to find a pattern. So dreams are actually an effort of the brain to find such kind of pattern. We'll understand it slightly, little more in the neurobiological explanations of dream. The common sense view is that that dream is a unique state of consciousness. We are not unconscious because anybody can awake us. A unconscious or a coma state is a state where you cannot be woken up. It's a unique state of consciousness where we experience the present, we can process the past, what has happened earlier, and since we have some premonition that something may happen, we can prepare for the future as well. So it's a nexus of mind, body, and spirit through which we develop a self about the present, about the past, as well as for the future. Now, if we are thinking too much about past, we develop apprehension. If we develop too much about the future, we also develop apprehensions. But at times, we not only are apprehensive, we also develop some kind of imaginative play in sleep. That is what is happening in a given day. So those reflections also come in dream. So dreams are life in pictures. They are simulated realities that prepare and protect us. That's a common sense view. But the common sense view suggests that all dreams are meaningful. Most dreams are meaningful. Many of them fail to find a meaning, but they don't deny that there must be some kind of meaning. Otherwise, why have they come to us? So meaningfulness is a core or a focal theme in common sense view. And also we find, how do we find meaning in it? Because at times so happens that certain memory we cannot access. We cannot remember certain thing. I may have seen some face 30 years back. I can't remember that. But dreams can actually give us to that. It's a flashback memory that we get often. And the random pictures that we get in dream becomes meaningful. As I said, we are pattern-seeking creatures. So anything fuzzy, anything random, they find some kind of meaning within us. So it may be correct, it may be incorrect, but people find some meaning out of it. But when we go to a biological view, it is meaninglessness. Biologists, neurophysiologists believe that it's meaninglessness. Let me first tell you that we don't dream all the time. As I said, we dream 5 to 6 times between 5 to 20 minutes time span. There are two kinds of sleeps we have. We call REM sleep and normal sleep. REM means rapid eye movement. Whenever we dream, our eyes move. And this occurs, as I said, 5 times a night, around 5 to 6 times a night. And when there is a REM sleep, we dream. But while we dream, we do not get any input from outside, either through senses or through motor activities. But our neurons in the brain remain active randomly because we get some kind of sensation during this kind of sleep, which is not deliberate but random because they are not coming from outside. Brain tries to make sense of this random activation of neuron, and this sense is the dream. So if you see the picture, the awaking state in a positron emission tomographic image, which is called image processing of the brain. In a normal sleep or in an awake state, the brain is not that active. The red part shows the activation. When we see dream, the activation is much higher. So in a default state or in a dream state, the brain becomes much more active. Neurons fire and crossfire in a random fashion, but ultimately brain finds some meaning. And that imaginative play in dream becomes, in sleep becomes a dream. There is a psychoanalytic view as well. The psychoanalytic view says that we find some symbolic meaning out of each dream. For example, I see that, well, I often see that I lost a passport while I'm traveling abroad, which never happened to me, but it's a symbolic expression of my apprehension. Somebody may feel that they are trying to catch a flight and they just miss it. Some people, some students may see that, well, they have to answer 5 questions. They are capable of making only 1. Or I am lost in a crowd, there is no known face around. Or I am lost in the middle of the sea, there is no island around. So all these dreams have a symbolic meaning of apprehension. If I am apprehensive, they are getting some kind of pictures around. So my apprehensions find expression, my primitive thoughts, my urges, my desires, they all find expression in dreams, and they are unconscious in nature. Freud, the greatest person who actually researched on dream right from day one, in his book, Interpretation of Dream, says that we have 3 parts of the mind. The conscious mind is very little. 2/3 of our mind is unconscious and preconscious. The mind, the greatest reservoir of our source of information or energy, may be primitive or non-primitive or creative, are in the unconscious. So it's a tool for self-analysis as well. Anything that we get in dream are actually expressions of our unconscious desires, because they don't find expression in our awakened state. Therefore, it's a great tool for self-analysis. With this notion, let us try to understand what is our spiritual view. Now, as I said, spiritual view is that self. Even Freud also said that we analyze self much better. We can. Of course, Freud's methodology is different. But the spiritual view is that when we fail to realize our true self, dreams are the key to finding truths, allows us a spiritual connect. What is that really going in my mind? We do not have a direct access to that particular message. We always try to camouflage. At times we are trained to tell lies. We don't say what we actually feel. But what is the truth within? Are we a dissociated person or a personality? In that sense, because in reality, we think of something else, and in fantasy, we think something other. So in order to find such truths, we need some kind of understanding through dreams, which gives us some spiritual connect, because it raises existential questions. Who are we? Where are we from? Why did I see someone? What are our origins? These questions we don't ask in reality. All these things come from our dreams. And it connects the dreamer with something greater, something more powerful, something wiser. I mean, we see bad dreams as well. We see lucid dreams, which gives us happiness as well. But at times, we see dreams which tells us that, well, there is somebody more powerful than you. There is somebody more wiser than you. Somebody who is greater than you. So that kind of feeling, which gives us a sense of mundaneness, comes to us through dream. Because we see dreams every day, no doubt. But most of these dreams, as I said, are forgotten. But certain dreams, we never forget. We call it big dreams. And they have got a lasting impact in your life. They keep on appearing in your mind. They are vivid and memorable dreams. Occur very rarely, but when they do, can have a very lasting impact on an individual's life, as I said. They are awe-inspiring moments, wonder and mystical experience. It gives you a near mystical delight as well, that you have seen someone who is more powerful, probably, who is more wiser, probably, who is going to protect you and prepare you for the threats in the life. So it plays a very universal role in the evolution of spirituality and religion across cultures. Every religion, if you go, you will find that people see some kind of spiritual God in their dreams. And from there, they start their journey of spirituality. So big dream, the awe, is a matter of science. Awe is something which gives us we often call awesome in a very casual layman's term. But awe is a form of emotion, like happy, sad, fear, and surprise, disgust. It's an emotion, and that emotion is not understood. It's a combination of fear and surprise. These peak experience through awe actually becomes transformative and life-changing. It offers near mystical delight in waking state. It helps us accept vastness. We accept that something is much bigger than us. Makes one feel mundane. I mean, you feel that you are so small in this world. It brings a sense of otherworldliness, divine existence. And through that, we trigger some kind of spiritual awareness within us. So big dreams created through the experience of awe actually allows us to start or begin with a spiritual journey. So it's a catalyst for spiritual growth. In fact, in the recorded history of almost every religion, we find the saints, the priests, the human gods have mostly said about seeing someone in the dream. So it has got a deep connect with the religious practices. And this is just not purely the figments of our imagination. These are windows into our inner self, windows. And these windows give us some glimpses about the original self, the self that we are trying to understand through our daily life or waking state through different practices. It may be, as I said, any practice, yogic practice, meditational practice. We can get it, the glimpses of it, we can get it through dreams. So the way we choose to perceive dreams has also a very huge impact. Because, as I said, if we simply sleep in order to be replenished of our own energy and just to be freshened up, we are not setting our intention. There are certain bedtime rituals as well, which has a huge effect on the power of our dream. If we choose to perceive dreams which are spiritually inclined, surely we see dreams the way we want to. Otherwise, we see dreams which we forget, which has got no lasting impact in us. So the idea behind intention setting is that before we dream, before we go to sleep, we actually pray, and prayer has a huge impact on our dream. If we pray and sleep, definitely we get a spiritual inclination in dream as well. So, what Descartes have said, that we don't know whether we are dreaming now or not in the waking state. It may be an illusion. He also said that we cannot trust our senses in waking life without invoking a benevolent God in dream, who would surely not deceive us. The idea is that the benevolent God you see in dream, you don't question him, and you accept him. You find him the person or an element which gives you the insight about yourself, and that insight helps you begin with a spiritual life. Thank you so much.
So relaxed, it puts a smile upon my face. So relaxed, there is no time to waste. I am so relaxed, it puts a smile upon my face.